Hi, and welcome to Songs Nobody Asked Me For. I'm Nigel, and I'm the singer and songwriter of the Plymouth-based indie funk band The QuiBB. And this is just a quick hello at the beginning of another interview. I've had a little, you won't know, a little run of not being able to do interviews, and then Cafe Momus really came to my rescue. Cafe Momus is a wonderful venue. It's a really up-and-coming venue that's doing so much music, and I really suggest you check it out. It's just off Union Street. And really nice. And the guy, Tamas, who runs it, he's been so helpful to me. I messaged him to say, look, I'm really desperately trying to find somewhere to do this podcast. I don't have any money, and I wondered, maybe on a Wednesday between 5 and 6:30, if your main art room was free, whether I could just pop in there and do an interview. And he said, oh yeah, that's more than okay. So what I'm just doing at the beginning of this is I'm going to show you a little video of Cafe Momus. I did a little walk round, and that's now. So I'm starting this podcast by just introducing you to the wonderful Manor Street Galleries Cafe Momus, and just how great they've been in terms of just letting me come and do my first face-to-face interview here. I'm a bit nervous about it, but it's kind of okay, you know. Just going to have a little walk through. I feel a little bit shy about this one. Just you know, it's this as I say, the art gallery, and I think the guy who owns the place did some of these pictures, not all of them of course. I think probably we can see a well-known one here, but some of these others were done by the owner there. We have this, it's a lovely place. It really makes me feel like a sort of like a Camden bar or something. And yeah, coming through here, this is one of the main exhibition rooms. Yeah, there's exhibition on at the moment. And we've gigged, just go back out a second there really, we have gigged in the front here, on this little stage here, which you may or may not have seen. And this is their back room, and actually I'm kind of thinking at some point it would be great if we could do something here. But yeah, we have some wonderful exhibits here. I'll take you around here a little bit. And this is where I'm going to do my interview, first time, and yeah, I hope it all works out really. It's kind of, yeah, looking forward to it. So, join you in the interview shortly. There you are, and I just wanted to show that, to sort of thank them and to say, look, go to Cafe Momus, look it up, find out, there's loads of music going on there, it's really growing in what's happening. And then this is just to introduce Izzy. Izzy is the singer and songwriter from the band Queen Izzard's Bird Blizzard. You won't find them much around. I really want to encourage them to try and get a little bit more out there really. But we played with them at the Marina Bar a month or so ago. I was really enjoyed their energy and their music, and off the back of that I asked them if they wanted to come and do the October event that we were doing. They'll be starting that, you know, the sort of starting band, and of course, because my rule is you have to be on this, I managed to pin them down for an interview. It's really interesting. I really enjoyed it. Really loved their energy and sense of optimism and a desire to sort of make this something that they do much more of. And I guess they're at a place where, they haven't quite yet moved into the confident place of playing more often, and I think they're getting there really. You know, and really hearing how supportive the Marina Bar has been. Down on the Barbican in Plymouth for helping them feel confident in doing that. So enjoyed the interview, really excited to be face to face with somebody at last. It's so nice, and hope you enjoy it. I will shut up now and let you watch the interview. Hi, and I suppose I need to say to the camera, welcome to Songs Nobody Asked Me For. And I'm really excited both because we're at Cafe Momus and it's the first time I've managed to find somewhere to do a face-to-face podcast. And secondly, I'm joined by Izzy. And now you have for me, as an old man, the most impronounceable band name. I'm going to say it though, Queen Izzard's Bird Blizzard.
Yes.
How about that?
Yeah. And you said Izzard the Jana way.
Izzard. Yeah,
I like it.
You know, I'm an Essex boy, but I've got that Jana Lilt after 30 years, you know. It's kind of... and it's really lovely to have you on. And we did a gig with you a couple of months ago, I think, at the Marina Bar, and we just really loved your energy. And afterwards, and we were just My bass player John and the percussionist Gray, they stayed, I think, for pretty much all of your set, and I had to go after 2 songs, unfortunately. But we'll talk more about your sound and everything. But really was keen to catch up with you guys, and you're going to be doing one of our events with us as well, which we're really excited about in October. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. So the first one went very well, but we'll talk about that off air. That's fine. So I mean, it's always beginnings are the hardest parts. I always think, just tell me a little bit about yourself, and particularly what I've been curious about with everybody that I've met really is how you got into writing music, what influences you had behind you, what was around in your life that sort of brought you into that?
Yeah, I think I was definitely always into music, but I didn't realise that it was like the thing that I wanted to do until I got to uni, which is unfortunate because I was already at uni.
Okay.
but I'd say, I mean, definitely my biggest inspiration is King Izzard and the Lizard Wizard, and seeing them perform. And I think just I didn't really go to a lot of live music before I went to uni.
Okay.
Because I didn't have like mates who were going to gigs and stuff. And then I started getting brought out to gigs and I was like, oh wait, I want to do this.
So you got that sort of infectious bug straight away.
Yeah, it definitely, it was like seeing it was like, suddenly it was like, oh yeah, this is what I want to do. Like,
fantastic, that's amazing. And were you at university in Plymouth here, or were you?
No,
I know nothing about you.
I went to uni in Portsmouth actually for a couple of
right.
years. I sort of did first year and then retook first year and then dropped out.
That's fair enough.
I'm still glad I went. It was like good to go out and like meet new people.
I think it's, I don't know if it still is, but certainly my university experience was like my cultural journey into life, really.
Yeah.
You're away from home, you're mixing with people you've never mixed with before, and I think it's a real adventure.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
What were you studying? What were you?
I was in physics.
Physics?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right. Wow. That's tough.
Yeah, I still like physics. I think I realised doing it at uni that I didn't want like a career in physics. It's more like, it's sort of like, oh, I really like when I was little I thought I wanted to be a marine biologist, but it was just because I really like fish, like I really like, but I don't like marine biology. I had sort of the same realisation with physics, I think.
Right. That's fair enough. But you like music. And,
yeah.
And were you because one of my themes of this is how people evolve into people that want to reproduce something. Like, so, people might think because this is a podcast about original music that I'm really down on covers. I'm not, but it's not what I choose to do. And I wondered how you came into the idea of writing, or how what you saw influenced you into wanting to produce your own stuff or do your own thing.
I don't know. I think I've always had the creative bug in me. Like I've always wanted to. Like I've always been drawing and making things.
Okay.
I guess like that's always, and I've been doing music since I was young, like little.
Okay.
It was just like, I think I was always passionate about it, but didn't really know like which of the things I was going to choose that I liked, I guess. And I don't know, for writing music, I don't know what started it. I just, at some point, probably at university, probably because I was really depressed, I won't lie.
Well, you did physics, no wonder, I would say, but there you go, what do I know?
But no, yeah, I think it definitely started at university. I started like writing songs, and when I started playing guitar more, because I was playing just piano for a long time.
Okay. Right.
But then what's weird, I did like classical guitar in primary school, then did piano for ages, and then got back into guitar at uni.
Okay.
And I find it easier to write songs on guitar than on piano, like a lot easier. Piano's more like for composing, I feel like, which isn't a skill. It's something I've literally just recently started composing a song. But that's like my first dip into it at all. Yeah.
And I guess you write differently, don't you, on different instruments, I would imagine. That I'd love to be able to play more than one instrument to sort of see where it took me with songwriting, so maybe that would be
I don't play the keys so much anymore, mostly because I don't know, I think too much. I think I'm good at improvising on the keys, not so much like playing a song and like learning a song, learning chords. Like I never really did any of that because it wasn't interesting to me when I was in like secondary school.
That's interesting, yeah. So I have a similar background for you in that I learned classical guitar in an infant school. We had I think she was just a general teacher, but she'd been to Argentina and had learned classical guitar. So she just like taught everyone, you just turn up at lunchtime, So that journey is there for me. And I always felt there's something different about learning classical as well, because there's something about the rigour of what you learn. And I don't do it much, but my finger picking is great, and my ability to sort of I think it makes you more musical, it gives you more musicality at some level.
Yeah, I think it's sort of like taking advantage of the whole instrument, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, like being able to play like, I like multiple melodies happening at once in general in music. I think that's what drew me to piano as well.
Right.
And then like classical guitar is good for that. Like,
Definitely.
yeah.
And you've got a piano, you've got to do two different things with two
Yeah.
different hands. I'm not really very good at that either. So it's kind of. So you're from Plymouth originally,
Yeah,
or you kind
yeah,
of
from Plymouth. Like,
Okay.
been here my whole life basically, except for uni.
I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. No, I love Plymouth.
I love Plymouth,
It's such a great place to be.
It is wonderful. I genuinely love this city, but like, yeah.
There's pluses and minuses to it, I guess, because it's a lovely little ecosystem, and we came down from London when we had our first child, and we kind of just thinking there are better places to bring my kids up than the East End of London where we were living, and just thinking we'd been at Marjohn's, so we just kind of thought, oh, it's a place to come back to Plymouth. And the environment is amazing, but we're very cut off down here as well at some level. So it's kind of I always think it's like a town that's pretending to be a city almost. It's
yeah, 100%. It's there's like that weird thing in Plymouth where like you meet someone for the first time and it's like, oh, I know this like everyone knows each other, like in that way that everyone in a village like is sort of knows each other.
Right.
It's kind of strange.
And I think the music side of it feels a little like that as well.
Yeah.
And I've always felt like a bit of an outsider because I'm not a Janner, as it were. but I've been here a long time. But even so, doing this podcast has made me realise how outside of the inside I'm actually in. And I'm slowly almost being brought into the inside by doing this and meeting people. But it is a very close world, really. So how long ago were you at university? What are we talking about timescale here?
I think 2022, 2021, 2022.
So just post-COVID.
Yeah, that's when I started. Yeah, just after COVID. Like it was like my A levels was COVID, and then uni. But yeah, or it was like just sort of at the tail end of COVID, basically, was when I started. I think 2021.
Right.
Then did that for 2 years, and then came back here.
And have you been getting into live music since? Have you been playing and doing?
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing at Marina for every week at the open mic.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm playing there later after this. But,
right, yeah.
Yeah, because they do that open mic every Wednesday, and it's like...
We're doing it next Thursday.
Oh, nice.
We're about 9 o'clock, I think. So.
Sick.
Yeah, we'll see you again.
Yeah, I'll see you again.
So they do a sort of like a sort of jam, don't they? Is that what you first got involved with?
Yeah, it's the first like hour or so of the open mic is a jam, and then the rest is like slots, like for people who booked it.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. I think that place, if it weren't for that place, I wouldn't. Like I would have had to find some other like means. It would have been much harder. Like that place is so welcoming, and everyone there's so musical. Even the people who don't play are like, it's musical, artistic people.
That's great.
And it's just a really mixed, like a huge variety of different people that like Marina's a very special place. I think it's really nice.
Nice. Yeah, I'm really pleased. We did a couple of gigs there quite a few years ago, I say quite a few years, 3 or 4 years ago, and then couldn't get a gig there for various reasons. And so it's been nice to, we gate crashed that night because we were supposed to be doing something for Ocean City, the radio programme, but I've gotten to know Cam a little bit, and he's a really nice guy.
He's lovely. Yeah, everyone loves Cam.
Yeah, he's coming on this soon, so I'm kind of looking forward to catching up with him properly because I know a little of his band, but I don't know a lot.
Fury, they're brilliant.
Yeah. And have you branched out from there, or is it mainly the Marina bar that you play?
Most of our gigs have been at Marina, but we're playing at Mayfest this month.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's on I don't know when this goes up, but it's on Monday.
Okay, yeah, it'll have been and gone. That's my constant dilemma doing this. Have I done this? Have I not? Yeah. I'm about a month ahead of myself, so yeah, you'll have done it. And it would have been great.
Yeah, it was. It's not happened yet. No, I'm looking forward to that.
I think it was amazing, yeah. And is that the first, and that's a festival gig, presumably? Is that the first outdoors one you'll have done?
We played at Stoke Village Fun Day, which was going to be outdoors, but there were weather concerns. The weather ended up being fine, but couldn't risk it with all the...
Stoke Village, not so much fun day then.
Well, it was still really good actually.
Good.
It was just... it was all the pubs became music venues basically instead.
Nice.
So yeah, it was really nice. And like after we'd played, everyone was jamming in this like smoking area that leads to both of the pubs.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, it was really nice. It was a good vibe.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And obviously you're going to come and play with us at the Roundabout as well, which is, I don't know if you've been up there at all, but it's
I've been there for a couple gigs before. The Loft.
Yeah, it's about 15 flights of stairs up
Yeah.
there. And when we did it the last time, we lugged all our equipment and drums and everything up, and only discovered at the end that there was a lift. So we managed to get all the stuff out, but going, it was just lugging. And every time one of the band turned up, I happened to be around, and so I lugged all the drums up, lugged all the guitars up. Flipping pissed me off. And then you go, oh, there's a lift. Of course there's a lift. Of course. Why wouldn't there be a lift, you know? But there you go. It was, yeah, we're looking forward to that. Well, yeah, we'll still be looking forward to it. I have to get my time frame right.
Yeah.
And tell me a bit about your band, because one of the things I really enjoyed in your band, I enjoyed the music and the energy. I've got to say I love your guitarist, Alfie, and their energy was just really amazing. And they really reminded me, and this would be a really old reference that you won't get probably, there's a band called Fine Young Cannibals, and their guitarist used to have this way of moving that was just, I used to be quite fascinated by it. And Alfie just really reminded me of that.
He's got such an energy on stage. It's brilliant. Yeah. I love performing.
So how did you all get together? Did you get together through that jam?
Yeah, through Marina. Like I met all of them. They were all in their own bands. Like Alfie, they've all pretty much got their own other bands that they do. Like Alfie's got Ginge. They're playing also in Mayfest. Like we're opening night and they're closing night, which is fun. Because I love Ginge is sick. They're really good. Right. Okay. And then Ethan's also a drummer in Cam's band, Stone Tape. And Ryan, our bassist, is also bassist for that. And they're bassists and drummers for like loads of bands. Because Marina, like, everyone plays guitar and sings, so then it's like, if you play bass or drums, playing in every band. Definitely.
That's really good. I like that. And I think some of what I'm trying to be a part of here is trying to make a bit more of having a scene here. And I think one of the things you need in a scene is people having each other's backs. Yeah. People sort of like jumping in, sort of saying they'll do stuff I'm rubbish at, I have to say. Again, it's my bass player and my percussionist, they love a jam. And if they can I am crap at jamming. It's one of my great disappointments in life, but they are great.
I find I could do a jam on the keys much better than I can jam on the guitar. Yeah. It's weird. I think because I learned keys more formally than guitar, even though I did classical guitar, but that was so long ago that I've sort of forgotten most of that, and they didn't teach much theory. But keys, like, I'm more conscious of, like, if I press that key, that's an F key, like I know what they all are. Yeah. Whereas on guitar, it's like I would have to figure it out if I want. So as I'm playing, I'm just more going by what it sounds like than what I think should be the next.
I agree. I think you're right. Some instruments maybe lend themselves to join in a way that's not so much of the structure of the song. You can play around on it. Like if you're a great lead guitarist, you could sort of join in. That my band, I just think it's funny. I'm like dad, so I'm making sure we're all practicing. And the minute I go away from the band for a second, they're all jamming and they're amazing. They sound fantastic. And I come along, and if I try to join it, I just strum a C or strum a G. Feel like
it's the worst when you get up to a jam and you just suddenly have no idea what to do. And you'll just play something and you're like, no, I've ruined it.
Exactly. That's generally what I do for them, really. So I just let them jam for about 2 or 3 minutes and I go, right, come on, we've got practice to do. But I love it, really. But I don't tell them, so don't tell them. They don't watch the podcast, they don't reckon, so it shouldn't really matter. What do you think about the scene in music in general? I talked there about, in Plymouth rather. I mean, I talked about that idea of wanting to be part of creating a bit more of a scene. What do you think it's like? Yeah, I mean, Marina Bar is great, but it's almost an exception to some extent, it feels.
Yeah, no, Marina Bar is definitely like different to a lot of other places. But it's weird. There's like small pockets of people trying to start things. I think definitely. Like I work at PMC, and they're trying to do things over there as well. But I don't know. I think there's lots of gigs going for like cover bands, like paid gigs at least for cover bands. But like if you want to play at a pub, and that's fine if you want to do that. But like for people making original music, it is a lot harder. I think
it's tough.
It's I think it's more just it's not so much getting the opportunities to play. I think Marina's definitely been really helpful for that. But it's finding like means to actually making it a career, like making it like, I want to, because I want to do this and not have to do anything else.
Perfect.
That would be amazing.
Absolutely perfect. Yeah, it's very hard. It's very hard to work out how you do that. And in Plymouth, you've got because the Marina Bar is great. I think the B Bar was fantastic, and that's closed.
Great. That's gone.
This place,
Blues Bar
was Blues Bar was okay. And I agree with you. I think we do pub gigs from time to time. I would say this to make a little bit of money, so that we've got a little bit of, because they will pay, and I appreciate that. If we're an originals band, that's a bit of a punt on their part. But yeah, finding the venues and the space, and that's why I think more and more we need to create those venues and spaces. And the Marina Bar is doing something that's a real exception.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of places, there's like lots, like I said, I think there's lots of little pockets of people trying to make things happen, and just like, eventually it'll all spread and it's all going to...
I hope so, I hope so.
I feel like it's...
I went to a meeting a couple of months ago that was a sort of networking meeting. I don't know if you saw it was on, but it was trying to bring together musicians and agents and producers and stuff like that. It was over at Royal William Yard. But yeah, it needs a little more structure at the moment, I think, because it was mainly lots of little groups of people like us feeling a bit shy and a bit awkward and thinking, I had a name badge on, but it just said Nigel, that was all it said. I think it always needed it to say musician or something. So, because I would have liked to have met some of these agents and promoters and to sort of hear more about what they do and how they do it. But yeah, you're right. I think it needs to re-emerge itself. We need to. I always think it's like a little ecosystem or a Venn diagram. You probably know a Venn diagram. If you saw one. You've got original music and you've got covers and maybe you've got tribute acts. This is massive. And this is tiny, and this is getting bigger and bigger. And so somehow it's like growing this, making this a little bit more strong. It doesn't need to be bigger in terms of numbers, but opportunity and strength. And it's the lifeblood of music, isn't it, original music?
Yeah, absolutely.
What keeps you doing it? What sort of, because it is hard sometimes. And
I think it's just... I write music a lot, like I write a lot of lyrics. I think I usually go through a phase where I'm writing loads, and then a phase where I'm like playing loads.
Okay.
And once I come up with those melodies, then I'll like find older lyrics that I've written and like, oh, this was cool, I'll put this on this.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's like I would be doing it anyway,
right,
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, like I really want to... There's a little bit of vanity involved. I think there is for every musician, or like at least any like lead, person. Yeah. But I think there's a little bit of like, if I want to play my songs, I want to be taken seriously as a band. That's like, if you are just playing covers, that's great, but you can only get so far as a band that only does covers. You and I'm not knocking tribute acts, they're awesome, but it's like, I don't want to be that. I want to be like one of these bands that I like adore, I guess.
That's exactly that. And to play in a tribute band, I won't go over it because I've talked many times on the podcast, it's a lot of skill, and I can't do it. I couldn't reproduce something in the way that I've seen people do. It's a stunning skill, but I think for me as well, somebody talked about the idea of this being something authentic. It's about you, it's about who you are, and you spoiled one of my questions. I was going to ask you how you wrote your music, and you spoiled it. You told me already about that idea of so for you, often it sounds like the words will come almost like poetry or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's a big motivator for like what keeps me writing music, because it is such a venting, it's cathartic, I guess, to write lyrics. I think I usually when I write a song, I don't. Not so much anymore, but like especially with my early songs, I would like write the lyrics and just be like, oh, these are like words that like it would be like late at night I'd come up with something in my head. I'm like, oh, that sounds good, and then I start writing and just sort of let the words flow. And I'm like, this is just a song about something, I don't know. And then years later I find I'm like, that's I know exactly what that's about.
Right. And do you rewrite them then, or re-sculpt them a little bit, or do you generally sort of just...
a lot of the time I'll like take verses from a song where I'm like, okay, that's a really cool verse, but the rest of this is kind of like stuff I wrote to justify having that verse. I'll just take that and put that in this, or I definitely like modify things as I go, for sure.
And that structure of creating a song is I always think one of the least underappreciated things about songwriting. I know lots of people who can get a little lick or get a little bit of it, but actually the bringing together of stuff and the chorus and the verse of something, or how you fit. And I can really relate to that idea of, we have songs where there's a bit in the song that we play now, and I just think, that bit is crap. It doesn't mean anything. I put it in there just because I needed to bridge something. And if I had time, I'd rewrite it, but I haven't got the time now. But yeah, it's a sort of organic process that sort of moves around. And I think the last band I met, Factor 50, the guy was saying that it just was annoyingly a bit like eating. imagine not doing it, and when he's not doing it, it's really uncomfortable. And, I wondered if is that the same for you? Is that?
That's a really wow. That's like, yeah, no, that's a cool. That's a really interesting. That's a good metaphor.
You can have that one.
Yeah, no, that's I don't know. It's more that I guess I could never just be like, I need to write some lyrics and just write about something.
No.
You know, even if I have an idea of like what I want to write a song about, I need to get the words out first and then build from there. More so than like if I just have an idea, then it's like I can't find the words to start it, or like. Whereas if I have like a couple lines in my head where I'm like, that sounds really nice and those words are good, those like. If it like sticks in my head, like if I can get a line to stick in my head, then I'm like, okay, I've got a song, like, and I can build from that.
You're very This my curse is I'm the opposite. I generally write. I get a little vibe or a little lick or something, and I do have that immense struggle you described there of trying to find words, but it usually is okay once I find a line or something, and occasionally I have something that I'm really bursting to write about, but not always. And so over time I've had to just let this organically think, well, okay, I've got a new song at the moment, but I can't find any words for it. So I keep playing. I've brought it to the band. I'm dum-dumming it at the moment, which is unusual for me, but I think I've got to find some words, and the words haven't found me yet. I think that's what it is. They're in there somewhere. They've got to be in there. But so I'm always envious. I've met more people on this that do what you do in terms of writing the words, having inspiration, doing that. So I think I'm clearly doing something wrong. I need to switch it over. No,
I don't think there's a wrong way to make music. You know?
No, there isn't. You have to work out how you do. The other thing I found over time, and I don't know whether you've experienced this or experienced this yet, is that I have periods of great productivity and periods of dry wasteland. And when I was younger, I was churning the stuff out all the time, and probably 70% of it was awful. Whereas nowadays, generally when I write something, I'm really pleased with it and it's great, but I do have longer periods between, and I start to get into this little slight worry. In fact, the two episodes before this that you won't have seen yet, nobody will have, well, you will now, of course, because it will have been out by now, are on writer's block. And just thinking what it's like when I sometimes sit there and I think, it's gone. This magic gift of mine has disappeared, and I'm never going to write anything again. And it is. I wouldn't. Yeah, maybe I start to feel a bit hungry and a bit starving and a bit sort of like I need something.
Yeah, and there is that like fear of like like what if I've lost it? Like what if I've used all of my creativity?
I am spent.
That would suck. I never want to.
Even though I might think, well, look, we've got about 2 hours of material. That's great. I've got lots of stuff. But the idea that you would then stop.
Yeah, I would never want. I always find that very interesting. How there are bands that like still play, but like have released their last album. You know, they're not making new music, and they're almost like a cover of their own band. Yes. And I don't mean that in a derogatory.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, it becomes a greatest hits show, doesn't it?
Yeah. Which is like that's great. Like I would still go to those gigs and be like, yes, they're playing the hits. But if I was the one playing, I don't know, I'd be so bored. I need something different every time.
I also think it's the songwriter's curse within the band. You know, I think there's a little thing in my band that some of the guys would like the stuff we do, and I do. But as a songwriter, always in the back of my head. And it's the worst when I've got 2 new songs at home, but I know we don't have time to work on them yet, because I'm just there thinking, I want to do the new stuff, I want to learn the new songs, I want to get it out to the guys, I want to watch them create, and so there's that tension, and you can see in those bands, those older bands, there's that tension, you know. There's I'm going to shout out just to Ocean City Radio, and I don't know if you've come across them at all, but they've just folded, which is a great shame. They got hacked, lost all their money, lost everything, and really sad. But I was on a guy's called Steve's show there to promote the songs nobody asked us for, stuff we were doing, and I don't know how he'd managed to do this. He'd been interviewing Midge. And they'd never had anybody like that ever before, and he was so chuffed, and we just kept talking about Midge, and what did Midge have to say about this? But he was talking a little bit about that with Midge. He was telling me, because I was saying about this tension, and he was saying, Midge would say, he's at a point in his career where he can just, to some extent, think, screw it, I'm just going to play all my new stuff. But you can't really even then, because someone's going to want to hear Vienna or whatever Ultravox would have done, It is an ongoing, constant tension. I mean, the other thing it made me interested in is because I've done an episode about age, because I think there are a number of areas in this industry that are also quite prejudiced as well. Now, I'm a white, heterosexual, older man, and I don't have much of that, so I always want to acknowledge that I'm in a really privileged position. But I notice it in a way that I can cope with in the industry, that there are certain things I don't get access to because I'm an older guy in an older band. And when you were talking earlier about this idea that you might think about doing it forever, I feel it's almost a new phenomenon to have those older bands play. It's not, but say when I was your age, when I was around in the 70s and the 80s, there weren't any older bands because rock music and pop music was such a relatively new thing. And all those young people would say, I'm only going to do this for a while, and but there they all are. There's the Rolling Stones at about 99, still out there doing this stuff, and why not? But yeah, it was interesting to hear you say that you could imagine doing it. Because why would you suddenly stop doing something?
I can't imagine a future where I would not want to not be doing it.
Yeah. And then I suppose maybe there are more dignified ways to move into something else, I don't know. Someone like Elvis Costello, who I'm a big fan of, moved into sort of doing different genres of music and then collaborating with jazz players or sort of more classical things. And maybe that's how you'd go, but I can't imagine it at the moment. There's nothing like the buzz of playing a damn fine gig, is there really? How is it? I mean, the other obvious thing to sort of talk about, really, I've talked about age, is to talk about, being a trans person and what that's been like in the music business here and how you've experienced that, really.
Well, I think Marina has been like the perfect, like a very lucky place. Like, there's just very welcoming there. So I haven't had to deal with it there much, but it is. Yeah, it's harder, obviously, just in general. I think. Like the outfits I want to wear on stage are especially obvious, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
I know they're things that turn more heads on the walk to the gig or whatever. I think that one of the reasons I love performing on stage is because I get to dress how I want and
perform.
It's it's like on stage it's like this place where it's it's always been seen as more acceptable, I think.
Yes.
If Ziggy Stardust was wearing a dress or something, it would have been like, oh yeah, he's just a rock star. But I think it's definitely it's harder, obviously. It makes a lot of things, and it's hard in Plymouth especially. It's just it's difficult. But I think in the music scene is so different to the general scene, I guess. It's the people, at least the people in my bubble, it's most people are fairly calm about it. You only get certain people, someone who's come in for a few pints or someone, someone who's not there for the music. Typically, it's but there's a lot of trans musicians in Plymouth. There's more people. There's just more trans people than people realise, I think, because a lot of us are just in hiding.
Of course.
And I think music is an important. Art in general is an important outlet for things that people can't express or are just less encouraged to express.
It's about expressing yourself, isn't it? And I've thought often that you were saying earlier that people who are especially front people in bands probably got some sort of ego show off stuff going on. I also think there's something about being an introvert. I think many people who perform are introverts. And when you're up on stage and there's something you have more control over what you do, and I wonder whether that adds to that sort of feeling of comfortableness.
Definitely. I would say that, not to sound dramatic, but on the stage is the only time I ever really feel like I'm fully just being myself. Because it's whenever I'm talking to anyone, and everyone does this to an extent. If I'm talking to someone, I'll act the way that I think they want me to act. Whereas when I'm on stage, it's I'm talking to the void. I'm not talking to the audience necessarily. I'm just talking for the sake of it, I guess. And it's this just, I don't know, I can fully just let loose. I think that's why I kind of go, I go a bit wild on stage. It's all of the pent up, whatever it is.
And what you say, in a sense, the music scene generally has been more open to difference and in all varieties, and I wonder whether that becomes easier the more successful you become as well. I guess the bigger places you start to play, the more powerful you are, or the more able you are to sort of feel comfortable doing that.
Well, that's the thing. I think there's probably a lot of things that I haven't encountered yet. You know, assuming I were to get more famous, there would be things like right now, because we're not like a famous band. There's no like controversies in or anything like that. But it's sort of like I don't like, you have some bands that are very political and very controversial, some bands that are totally apolitical. It's sort of like I kind of don't have a choice but to be because to some people it just will be controversial, like my existence. But but yeah, so that's, I think it's weird, like being more famous, I guess, comes with its own challenges. Yes. But then also like, yeah, if you're really famous, then I don't know.
Screw them.
Yeah.
I kind of figure it'd be exciting to find out, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Become very famous. Then I can go on, and this isn't very nice. I don't want to do this. But until you know.
Yeah, I definitely want to be famous. So.
I think it definitely lends. You know, I almost have the sort of opposite feeling when I'm on stage of feeling a bit straight and a bit square and a bit dull. You know, and trying to find a way to sort of get over that part for me is kind of where I'm at. I mean, it's the opposite really. I wish I was more flamboyant or was more comfortable when I'm up on stage, and it happens over time, I guess. But you know,
yeah. I also guess everyone would have their own. Like what I do on stage is not what everyone would want to do on stage. You know, like,
no, definitely. I think I just don't do on stage what I probably want to do on stage, but I haven't quite worked out what I want to do on stage yet, really. But it's great. You know, I think it is lovely to have that sort of, like you say, that space. It shouldn't be the only space, but that space, at least to be letting something out from inside you. And I guess that's what many songwriters kind of have that feeling of, you know. Mine's much smaller and it's not so visual. Mine's an inability to sometimes express very well my emotions and feelings, you know, from how I was brought up and all those things. So finding a space in which I can articulate myself and I can share what I'm feeling and in a controlled environment is a smaller version of that, and a version I can tuck away. And
that's why music's so important, and art is so important, and why there should be like the music scene, you know, something that should be more like funded. But like or just there should be that should be seen as more important. Like it's not just for fun. Like it is for fun, but it's.
I was talking about one of the other podcasts about people like the Beatles who were kind of just working class lads, and when I was younger, you know, there was a little period of time I'm just on the dole and you just went and signed on, and you know, you could people now you'd be a waster or you'd be but that opportunity to have that space to become who you were, you know, and be creative, and you know, Beatles, I don't think they manage it these days. It's so, you know, the ability to afford to be a musician these days is tough.
Yeah, and so much of it is reliant on marketing, which is it's so the marketing now is so different to what pre-social media marketing would have been.
Absolutely,
And the way money works on social media now is, I think, very different to even it was like 5-10 years ago.
I agree. I don't think so. I personally don't feel it was any easier. Having been, you know, I was in bands in London in the early 90s and trying to make it, because you had there was nowhere publicly to get known or seen if you were a small band other than chugging around all the pubs. But in another way it was a more simple, straightforward way to be. You know, it's mixed. But nowadays you're just trying to make any money out of it. It's really tough, really. Yeah,
I think it's the great the really good thing and kind of an upsetting thing about the internet is the amount of like free content. It's like awesome free content, that's great. Like art should be available for everyone to enjoy. But then it's also like but artists need to be paid as well, like, and then
absolutely.
People get used to free content and start like being like, well, I can just get it for free, and it's like, I don't know.
It's a crisis waiting to happen, I think, for creativity. You know, it's just that, like you say, it's just there for free, and getting paid for anything you do is very difficult.
Because of like companies like Spotify, whatever, they're paying like fraction of a penny per play.
I've been on there I think we've been on there 5 or 6 years with different material. And I'm very proud to announce that I've made $15 in 6 years. It's just ridiculous. Now for me, it doesn't matter because, you know, I am in a privileged position of being able to afford to do this as something that I do, and I don't need to make money out of this. But I shouldn't be in that privileged position. It's kind of, you should be able to be paid for what you do. And are you on social media? Because I did look for you.
Yeah,
And you,
we've got Instagram, Queen Izzard spelled Blizzard.
Right.
But it's a long name, to be fair. Maybe I should shorten it.
I wonder, do the initials work? I don't know. So
Well, yeah, our app is the full name, Queen Izzard spelled Blizzard, but the like name on our is QuIBB.
QuIBB,
So,
QuIBB works.
Lowercase u, and then the rest is all caps.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's really good. Yeah, you need something like that, don't you? So that the old fogies like me can actually pronounce the band. I did well at the beginning. I did well. I'm aware of the time, and I'm really enjoying our conversation, but I'm aware with these things. I try to make them about half an hour, 40 minutes at the most when I meet people, because I'm aware it's not like you and I are really famous and somebody wants to listen to us for an hour and a half. I want to introduce people really to you and what you do, and I really appreciate you coming and talking. Really looking forward to playing with you again.
Thanks.
And by the sounds of it, I might see you at the Marina Bar on Thursday.
Yeah, probably will.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And good luck, and just keep doing what you're doing and being yourself, really. It's kind of... we really loved the energy of what you were doing, and you know...
You guys' set was awesome as well, by the way.
Yeah.
That was
it £5, I said?
You were also... No, you guys were really cool.
We're getting a real buzz about us now. The drummer's been with us since just before Christmas, so our percussionist was our drummer, so we're now a 5-piece. Nice. Slowly we're getting to this place now, which I really wanted, of a bigger 5-piece sound.
I would love to get some like violin, some sax, some nice, like
I want a keyboard player now, but I'm keeping it quiet to the guys again, because we just got used to being a 5-piece. And, every time you get another person, then you've got to work out when everyone's free for a gig. You've got to get all the equipment there. You've got to find bigger venues, because
it's teaching them all your old songs as well.
Yeah, but that's nice. I'm just now at a point where we're practicing after this, so I've got to shoot off to band practice now. But just great to be listening to the songs, getting a new lease of life, and just getting more fuller and more. You're going to love that too. It's going to get new musicians to learn your stuff. It's amazing. I wish you well, and that's us. And do follow Izzy, and I'm going to put a link on at the end there. I'll put a hashtag thing for your band, and usually what I do is put obviously some of your music on, beginning, the ends, and get some of your photos and that, and just try and promote it in my massive podcast that we have here. And thanks a lot.
Thanks. It's nice to talk to you.
Thank you.
Really good.